The reason I want to focus in on Bitcoin is because my perception is changing. I want to make sure that you all understand what I'm viewing, what I'm seeing, why it's changing, and how it's changing. Very, very important. I'm actually going to have to focus a little bit further on what's going on. I'm going to just move the comments off so I can't even see them so I can focus on what I want to present to you. So right now we have Bitcoin trading at $38,400. It looks like it's going straight up. If you look at the weekly chart over here, that's why I started this chart over here on the weekly time frame, just to show you that we are going vertical right now, okay? This chart over here is what set off my change in perception and what's going on in Bitcoin. I alluded to you the fact that, listen, I'm going to start watching Bitcoin from even a higher perspective of the 3-day and just raising my perspective, making sure I don't get shook out of my own trade over here. Again, the greatest risk to anyone, I believe, during this bull market phase is not being fully positioned, right? A lot of people saw that just yesterday. A lot of people got out yesterday right around, I don't even know the prices anymore. I would say around 34, 35,000. And then all of a sudden now we're trading at 38,000. They have to buy back in higher. Now, over here, I want to just point this out really quick, not because I was right. I want to point out what I've added to this conversation, right? I talked about, as Bitcoin was at 19,000, that my eyes were then on 4,500. That does not mean I'm looking for a pullback, a 30% pullback at that level. Actually, this chart over here, because these trend lines, I believe, are way more important. I looked at these trend lines over here, and I could see the next thing that I'm targeting over here is 53,500. That's the next trend line that comes into effect, right? So then before I get into what I'm currently thinking, I just want to share a couple of comments with you. It was from Tim who started it, right? Tim is like, am I the only one who's not comfortable with this vertical movement over here, right? I'm experiencing the bull season and it's scary. So I mentioned to him, look, because I'm going through the same thing yesterday. Before Tim even wrote that, I had to go ahead and look at the price action in 2013 when price was going vertical. It had a 500% gain in 1 month and multiple 50% gains. Watch this. This is really important. I want you to focus on this. And obviously, as you all know how I think by now, like I have always the thesis, my point at the end of the sentence. And then I'm constantly building up until I get to that. But this is part of the journey over here. This is very important to imprint it on your minds right now. So going back over here, this is 2013. I don't want you to focus in on the date right now. I want you to focus more on the price right now and pretend you're in this trade over here. Price has risen, right, about 70% over there, okay? All of a sudden, it's up 100%. Right now, if you're in this trade, you're thinking, wow, price is really starting to move up pretty straight. A lot of traders exited over here. You could go back on Twitter and look in January of 2013 and look at all the traders that exited their position over here. But watch the price, right? Wow. Now we're really starting to go vertical, right? Right now, if I was in this trade, I would be like, wow, we're starting to really move up to the upside. And then, wow. And then, okay, that's it. That's probably the blow off top. That move was tremendous, right? Then watch what happens over here, the shakeout, right? A lot of traders exit over here. Watch what's happening over here. Retrain your brain, reprogram your brain. This is very important over here. And then I'm going to get to what has changed my opinion, what I'm looking to do, and how I'm going to be trading this bull market. Then boom, melt your face off over here. We come up, and now this is truly vertical over here. Look at that. Could you believe after this bar over here that bar was put in? That's a 60% gain in 1 month coming off a 50% gain. That's insane price action. That's vertical. We're not going vertical right now. We are going vertical, but for Bitcoin vertical. And then boom, by the way, look at that move from over here. That was almost like a 70% move, 90, 80% move before Bitcoin sold off. Now, before I go further, watch what happens next after we have this sustained pullback. And then all of a sudden, Bitcoin again really goes vertical. Goes vertical with a 500% move over here. All right. So Bitcoin has a history of doing this. I want to focus over onto this chart with you right over here right now, because I was getting my bearings looking at this chart. The first thing my eyes are drawn to is this previous cycle. This is what could happen next, in my opinion, right? Maybe we move into this next resistance somewhere around 53,000. Maybe, by the way, just because I haven't said it. I'm no longer looking. The question is yeah, Jordan, you said that we would be going into the 40,000 and then a 30% drawdown. So just so everyone's clear, I am no longer looking. Strategy number 3, right? Strategy number 2. I'm no longer looking for 30% drawdowns. Only mentally prepared for 30% plus drawdowns at any time. And actually, as I'm going to share with you right now, much bigger drawdowns. We're going to talk about that in a second. If the current pace continues, I'll be looking for a much bigger drawdown from much higher. Okay? So this kind of changes the way that I view strategy number 2. Because in strategy number 2, I was set on as we came back 15, 25, 30% to keep scaling in, looking for those 30% drawdowns. Now that we're starting to move up and the pace is changing, right? I'm going to be less apt to taking 30% drawdown because I think we might see a much bigger drawdown. I'm going to explain that to you and show that to you right now. I said that was a rough sketch at the time. Using the trend lines in yesterday's video, 53,500 looks like a better target for now, but I'm not selling there because I'm not looking for that 30% drawdown. I'm not at all trading strategy number 3 at all unless we get much higher. I'll talk about that right now with you as well. So the next thing on my mind right now is what happens into this trend line over here around 53,500. I am not exiting the trade. I am not taking profit. But what could happen is something like this, where we pull back again, pull back into this trend line over here. We'll be coming in somewhere around 40,000, which would be entirely healthy. We could see something like that unfold. And this is a healthy bull market, by the way. This was a 30x bull market. But we might be entering something like this vertical price movement. And this is why I won't sell at 53,000. Is it possible that we trade up towards $100,000 and soon? Is it possible over the next month that we trade to? Yeah, that's possible right now. We have an enormous inflow of money coming from institutions right now. Models are breaking, but the model's not really breaking. It's just a question of which model, and models are nothing more than guides. The model is like, this is not how it's going to play out. I've said it from the very beginning. I'm going to adapt to what's happening and making sure I'm able to ride this wave to the best of my ability. So there are many people who can't take the flexibility. Then you're going to get left behind. I'm telling you right now, there's no way that I'm also expecting now the possibility, and I'll tell you right now, if we break 53,500 and that's going vertical at that point, that resembles much more of this type of price action than it does this type of price action. I will no longer be looking to position myself in on any 30% drawdowns because I think that we might see a much bigger drawdown. Now, whether that's a 50% drawdown in the bull market phase or a 70% drawdown in the bull market phase, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I will not be positioning myself in at 30% if I'm looking for maybe a 50 or 70% drawdown, right? So I'm going to make sure that right now I'm fully positioned in. I'm going to make sure I hold on over here, and I'm going to watch to see as we continue up over here, whether we resemble something more like this as we come into 53,000. If we do get that pullback, all right, then I'll be able to adjust myself. Or if we start going straight up, a lot of people are going to be selling on that way up because they're thinking price can't go vertical. I'm going to make sure that I hold the line, that I'm not selling. However, if we come up over here and all of a sudden we take out, even into 100,000, if that's vertical up over the next month, I'll be expecting a bigger pullback, bigger than 30%. But if the models continue to break to the upside and we go even higher than that, at that point, I'm going to have to consider, wow, maybe we're going to have like a 70% drawdown. And maybe it's going to resemble this cycle more, where we have these double moves. Here's one move up, then price packed off, consolidated, and then we had another move up. That's what I'm going to be ready for. The bottom line is I'm adapting to the market, and the market is changing right now as price is moving as it is, which is straight up. It's resembling more of a vertical move upwards. I have to understand that I can't step in the way of that vertical move. You could see what happened now over here in the past, right? I'm not going to exit just because this candle looks crazy to me. That move from 50 to 71 looks crazy, all right? But that was nothing. So you got to be careful. I want to make sure everyone is able to ride that trade, stay in that trade. I want to be on the record, everyone knowing right now how I'm changing, how I'm adapting to the market, just so we're all clear and on the same page. Trade like a chameleon. I hope you all understand what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, so I do believe, Jeffrey, that the pi cycle gave, let's check it out really quick because I need to know for myself. I believe that the pi cycle gave the exit on both of those moves in the first cycle. Let's check it out. I'm sorry, that has to be on this one, on the Brave New Coin Liquid. So let me pull up that. Let me pull up the pi cycle. Let's take a look together really quick. And let's see whether or not it gave us a nice exit signal on the way up on the first side. So yeah, you got a cross right there. You got a Jeffrey. We got a cross right over there on the way up over there. I want to see where that cross came in. That cross came in. Let's see, right there. What's price at? Close of price 161. Not a bad exit. Is that within 25% of the top? I don't think so, but it's a good exit. Listen, I'll take it if I could do that for sure. And then what about on the second way up? Did we get another exit on the pi cycle? We did. Even a better one. That's almost at the very top. So pi cycle, pretty solid. So by the way, Jeffrey, the reason, because I was thinking about that last night without looking, if we did get a crossover here on the pi cycle on this first wave up, or when I say first wave up, like one wave, two wave. Is this more of a one wave bull market, or are we going to see a one wave, two wave bull market? Right now, it could go either way, right? 53,000 is going to be that trend line resistance. That's going to be a nice marker for us to get a better idea of what it might look like, right? And also 97,000, because we could also make this all the way up to 97,000 and then pull back over here somewhere towards 60,000, right? That would resemble actually more of this than this. But if we make it all the way up here, if we're 200 and 160,000, from 160,000 and above, that resembles very much like that. I would exit this first wave. I would exit this first wave. When I say exit, would I exit my full position? I don't know. I'll talk to you about it then. But I would be exiting on a pi cycle. So if you want to use pi cycle yourself, you have to go to lookintobitcoin.com. Just join their patron, and then you have access to using the pi cycle. I don't know. I don't know right now. It would be significant, but I don't know, Edward, right now. It would be significant because once that happens, price is going vertical, like for real vertical, and it's at an inflection point. I don't know what it is, but if we get there, and as we get there, obviously you know that I'm there with you, and we'll let you know.